Welcome, our audience, our listeners, to another special episode of the Lead Talk podcast. This is your favorite show where we get to discuss with you issues about leadership, issues about career transition, and issues about business development and business success. So
Yes.
today I'm super excited to welcome my co-founder and co-host, Coach Shilpa Joshi. Coach Shilpa Joshi, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So glad to be here always on this super energy filled podcast episodes. And from my side as well, I welcome our beautiful, lovely audience and listeners all across the globe. Now we are reaching more than 30 countries and we love that impact we are creating. And we also want to always start by expressing our gratitude to our audience who have shown faith on us. And we are committed to give you pure value.
Absolutely. Thank you. Yeah. So just you've had over 30 countries and the list is growing. I once again would like to thank you for you downloading, sharing
Yes.
this with your community, with your family and friends. And so as you come to today's show, I just want to, I'm super excited that we are going to share something very, very special. But before I go to what we'll be sharing, I would like to welcome those of you who are listening for the first time. Come to this show. This is your home every week. This is where we share important information. Sometimes we, the co hosts, talk, but sometimes we also get guests. So I would like you to
Yes.
go back and look at interviews by our guests, such as Coach Razmik, such as Coach Emma, Coach Simona Devseti, and the others who will be coming. And so share this episode with other people in your community so they get to benefit about leadership issues, about career issues, and about business growth. And so,
Yes.
with that, I would like to let the cat out of the bag. So, today is our episode 21, and this episode is going to be talking about navigating the unknown. And in this, Coach Shilpa is going to be sharing with you tips for a successful career transition. So pay full attention, pick a piece of paper and pen, and take full of notes. Take full notes so that you can actually use this in your own career journey. And one of the issues we would like to talk about here is um, how do you navigate? And as we go through the interviews, Coach Shilpa will tell us how do you navigate the unknown in the context of career transition? Because many of you are contemplating changing your career. Okay,
Yeah.
so whether you are looking to make a switch within your industry or embark on a completely new path, this process we know can be very exciting, but also daunting. So, because Coach Silpa has a wealth of experience in this area, she is going to share her experience, her knowledge, and even her passion, her experience of helping clients transition this daunting journey, right? And so we are looking forward to gaining very insightful vibes, techniques,
Yes.
strategies from her. So lean forward and let's begin the show with my first question. Coach Silpa,
Yes.
welcome to the show once again. So tell us, why did you choose this topic today? And especially this time, why is it important for people to think about this when they want to make a career transition?
Yeah, sure, sure. Thank you, Gerald. And this is a great question because we always start with why. But let us, as our ritual and as our tradition, let me start with a quote by
Mm,
James Allen.
yes.
Men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound.
Wow. Say that
Yeah.
again. That's so powerful.
Yeah, I'll say that again. So, James Allen said that men are anxious to improve their circumstances, but
Yes.
are unwilling to improve themselves. They therefore remain bound. And this quote is particularly relevant to the topic of navigating the unknown, which are
Mm,
especially for successful career transition.
yes.
It highlights the idea that many people are eager to improve their circumstances, their career, their success levels,
Mm,
are not willing to put the work to improve themselves. They want to
Mm,
work on situation directly without working on themselves. And this can be seen in the context of career transition, business transitions, where individuals are looking to improve their financial situations, having better title, better paycheck, right?
mm,
The fear of unknown in particular can be a major obstacle to making career transition. And as the quote suggests, it can keep people bound, that means stuck in their current circumstances. And as we have shared in our previous episodes, what are
mm,
those things which can hold people back? What are the mistakes professionals can make which can keep them stuck? And
mm,
now you know the current situation and you spoke about it at length. And so I would also request our audience, if they have not listened to the previous episode where you
mm,
shared the wisdom and the insights about why making right career choices and securing the future, being future ready, is the
mm.
most important aspect of current times, rather the demands of the current times.
Yes.
So, this also means that we have to take time to understand our fears and concerns and taking
Mm-hmm.
ownership of our success before we even start talking about career transition. So, I
Mm,
chose this topic, that navigating the unknown and giving tips for successful transition, is because we will keep giving the tips for career transition. But even before that, we
mm.
have to see what's holding people back when they know, when they understand the need of career transition,
Yes.
because it is a timely and very relevant topic that is applicable to many people, as you said, in today's world. The
Yes.
current scenario is where people are facing the challenge of career transition, whether it is a voluntary decision that they have decided to move
Mm,
forward, or it is the situationally created one because of the recession, because of the pandemic related
mm.
outfalls, right? But the reality is that career transition is something that many people will face at some point in their life. And
Yes.
as you said, it can be a very daunting and challenging experience. And
True.
we have seen this very, very closely.
Yes.
So one of the main reasons that we also choose this topic is to address the common fear of unknown, basically understand that fear of unknown,
Yes.
which keeps people from taking that courageous action or decision.
Yes.
And this fear can manifest in many ways, such as uncertainty about the future,
Mm.
also doubt about one's abilities, concerns about financial stability.
True.
So, this fear can make the transition process very overwhelming and can prevent people from taking the right action.
Yes.
Right. And additionally, as you know, like last time you have articulated and you even given the statistics of current
Yes.
scenario of COVID-19 pandemic, where
Yes.
many people had lost the job to technology or to the management decision or to the restructuring, or
Yes.
and have seen their current career path taking a huge hit, and they're
Yes.
forced to look at new opportunities. And maybe sometimes this can bring an enormous beautiful opportunities even to them, we can't deny
Absolutely.
that,
Yes.
right?
Absolutely. That's
So this
important
has
also.
made the
Mm.
career, yeah, this has made the career transition even more relevant and an important topic to discuss. And we believe that by providing tips and strategies, we can help people to overcome this fear. So now they
Mm.
can think clearly and start taking the steps.
Yes.
Our major goal always, Coach Gerald, is to empower people to take control of their careers, their life,
Mm.
and make informed decisions with
Mm.
informed risk assessment and align their life and career with their inner calling, values, and goals.
Beautiful. So you've really given us a very good perspective, and maybe at this point, I know you made your own journey. Is there a way you can like share a little bit about, yeah,
Yeah.
how they work, how your journey played out, so that our audience can kind of take a leaf or two from you?
Yeah. So I have shared in detail about my career transition, the experience. As you
Mm.
also know, I've shared my innermost feelings and my with all vulnerability, how
Yes.
once I took a wrong decision, what huge
Yes.
cost I paid for wrong
Yes.
decisions
Yes.
in career transitioning, and what was the right way to do career transition. So I
Yes.
made a significant career transition from having a high paying senior management position. So it was
Mm.
a high stake job to become a world class coach today.
Yes.
And I took this decision in the midst of the pandemic when most of the people around me thought that this is the stupidest and biggest mistake of my life. But
Yes.
I'm glad because of the strategies, the plan, the mentors in our life, the
Yes.
guidance, the community we have,
Yes.
things turned out the actually other way. That is the better way. The
Beautiful.
transition
Beautiful.
was definitely not easy, and it's never easy, and we don't even want to give that impression,
Yes.
as I had to leave behind the stable successful career, have that stability or the comfort of finance and paycheck coming monthly, right,
Mm.
for pursuing my passion or my inner calling towards coaching and mentoring aspects. The
Yes.
biggest challenge I faced was the fear of unknown,
Mm.
and it delayed my decision for a while. I had been in a finance industry for almost 3 decades, and
Mm.
thought of leaving the comfort of security of my job was really, really very challenging and
Yes.
threatening as well.
Yes, I can
And I
understand
also
that.
had,
Yes.
yeah,
Mm.
yeah, it is the biggest decision, right? And
Mm.
especially at different stage of your life. So I also had doubts about my own ability, that inner
Yes.
suspicion,
Yes.
and all those things which you imagine in your
Yes.
mind which may
Yes.
go wrong.
Yes.
So I feared that I would not be even able to make a living as a coach at one point of time. And
Yes.
here we are actually doing the work we want to do with the people we love working for, and
Yes.
creating the right kind of impact to make a positive difference in the world.
Beautiful.
So that was a small part of my transition journey
Yes.
and the thought process.
Yes, and I had to make you really bring this over to the audience because I know as you're listening, you could be experiencing this. Maybe a coach Shilpa, you had almost 3 decades,
Yeah,
almost 30
yeah.
years of working in the finance sector. She
Yes.
was at the level of president, right? So which
Yeah.
means it was not an easy decision, and probably you're like that. Okay, so you are probably in your 40s and 30s, somebody who is senior in her or his position, but because of the circumstances, you feel that it's time to move, but you are not sure of what may happen. And this is exactly the story Coach Shilpa just mentioned. And this is why she actually chose this beautiful topic. So beautiful. So Coach Shilpa, now you've talked about fear of the unknown. For those who are not very familiar with fear of unknown, can you tell us more about the manifestations and things about fear of unknown so that our
Sure.
listeners can understand us more?
Sure, sure. That's a very relevant and very important question, Coach Gerald.
Yes.
So this is an important concept, and as we learn deeper into the personal development, I would not say development, I like to call it personal enhancement. We
Mm,
all are developed at some level. That's why we all are here, right?
mm,
So this fear of unknown refers to the fear or feeling of apprehension, that uncertainty
yes.
or anxiety that comes with facing something which is not familiar to us or we
Mm,
cannot predict. We
okay.
always like to predict and to be in the safe zone, right? So that's why
Exactly.
this fear is very daunting. This type
Mm,
of fear can manifest in many ways, such as we are faced with a decision that will change our life. We are
mm-hmm.
entering into new environment. We are dealing with a situation which is sometimes out of our control zone. The
Yes.
fear of unknown can be a very natural response to the change and uncertainty.
Mm,
And it is something that many people experience at some point of time in their lives, right?
yeah.
Even we are going to a new destination, taking an
Mm,
admission to the new university, changing job, going from individual performer to becoming a leader. So every time we have this in some form or shape.
mm, mm,
It can be also caused by lack of control, lack of information, and lack of
mm.
predictability. So, which can lead to the feelings of anxiety, doubt, insecurity, and then people hesitate taking decisions. So, what
Mm,
I discovered is that when I researched and went a little deep on what exactly I felt when I say fear of unknown,
mm,
is that under this fear of unknown, especially for transitioning to entrepreneurship from being an
mm,
employee, there are
mm.
5 hidden fears. And I would like to speak about that if you
Oh,
permit me to go ahead.
beautiful. This is your day. This is really, listener, this is your chance. So Coach
Yes.
Shilpa is going to break down the fear of unknown into 5 different ways that are oppressing you. So she's really going to give information so that you feel relieved from this fear and then you start going forward in your journey of career transition. So Coach Shilpa, take it away.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. That's very important. So the first one is fear of failure. The
Mm,
fear of not succeeding or achieving your goal in new career or business can be a major obstacles to even get
mm,
started.
yes.
This fear has prevented a lot of people from pursuing their dreams, even after knowing their purpose or trying new
Mm,
things and making it very difficult for them to move forward. So that's number one. Number
mm,
two is fear of rejection.
yes.
Fear of rejection, fear of being rejected and not being accepted in the new field or industry or not feeling welcomed in the beginning can be a
Mm,
major concern. And
it's
it's
very
very
difficult.
difficult to hear no, right?
Yes.
So this fear can lead to the self doubt. It can make it difficult to put yourself out there and be vulnerable, or
Yes.
even try and apply for new business or coaching opportunities,
Yes.
right? The third one is fear of poverty, which in a sense is a fear of financial insecurity or
Yes.
not being able to provide for yourself or your
Yes.
loved ones. That could be a major concern. And
Yes.
I experienced that when I had taken some wrong decisions and it didn't
Mm,
work in my favor because I had not applied the strategies we now teach our clients, and so
mm,
that they can reduce the financial hardship and the journey
mm,
can be smoother, right?
yes.
So this is very important fear, and it can make it difficult to take the necessary step to the transition and hold on to the security or illusion of job security,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Makes
The
sense.
fourth one is a fear of embarrassment, the
Mm,
fear of looking foolish or making stupid mistakes in the new
mm,
field or industry, or having that fear of, oh, what if people think that I'm not good enough, I'm not ready enough. Those could be the major concerns, and
yes.
it can make it difficult for people to try new things in the new career,
Yes.
right? And the fifth one, what I feel is that that's mostly not talked about, is fear of being loneliness, right? Because when
Ah,
we are working in a corporate setup or an environment or a job, we have
mm,
so many people. You've got IT support, you've got support functions, you have got your team members, you
mm,
have got your senior management, junior management, and every other stakeholders around you. So that fear of being alone or not having a sense of community can be a
mm.
major concern when you start your journey. But there
It,
are ways where we can defy these fears by choosing the right things, right community. And this fear particularly can lead to hesitation in making a career transition and make it difficult to bring new connections in the new field
mm,
or
mm.
develop an inertia.
Oh,
So these
beautiful.
are the five fears.
Okay, I mean, listen, this has been beautiful. This has been absolutely beautiful. So, Coach Shilpa has taken us through five important fears that
Hmm.
hold working professionals, experts like you and me back, despite knowing that we could actually thrive in the new area. But because we have this doubt, which she has beautifully through her elaborate research broken into five different areas. So as you listen, I want you to actually score yourself and say, hey, how do I score in any of these five out of
Mhm.
from 0 to 10? Give yourself a
Yeah.
score and then come back and continue to listen. So
Yeah.
my next question, Coach Shilpa, if you may, is that
Hmm.
now that you have laid bare these five fears that hold people back, so
Mhm.
what could be some ways to counter these fears?
Wow, that's most relevant, and that's actually the most helpful question
Mm,
anybody can ask, because understanding fear is one thing, but now since these fears are in your consciousness, what do you do to tame this fear? So these are some of
yes.
the ways, and though personalized solutions can be different, and it has to be a personalized
Mm,
solution for everyone, because
mm,
everybody has a different set of values, beliefs, and habits and circumstances, right? So that's what we also do with our clients first session, right? So
mm,
first way is to gather information and do research for the future career or an entrepreneurial path. The
Mm.
more information, more relevant information, I would not say more information because this is an information overload age, right?
Yes,
But
yes,
having the right information about your new situation, the less the unknown and the
exactly.
less uncertain it will seem. So
Mm.
research the industry, research the business, research. Let's say you are going from becoming being an employee to becoming a coach, or you want to
Mm.
become a consultant in your area.
Mm.
See how that industry is working. See who are the people who can help you. The more you understand the future path, less unknown it would seem to you, and you will be doing an informed decision,
Exactly.
right?
Yeah.
Number two, create a plan. Having a plan in place can help you alleviate your feelings of uncertainty and insecurity, because then you know what actions to take,
Mm.
what path to follow.
Mm.
So make a list of steps, every small single steps to you need to take to reach your goal, and then keep working on them one by one. This
Okay.
way you would be progressing ahead rather than getting confused and staying overwhelmed and procrastinating. So create a plan and have small steps even counted in the plan.
Yes.
And the third one is, I can never emphasize it more, but I have to say that seek support, ask help.
Mm.
You
Yes.
don't have to struggle alone. We
Mm.
see such wonderful coaches, consultants, new entrepreneurs struggling, and they hesitate asking help, thinking that, oh my God, it will look that I'm not capable enough if I'm asking for help, right?
Yes.
But talking to someone who has gone through similar experiences can be helpful. So reach out to the right friends with the right mindset, maybe somebody in your family who has succeeded in that particular area,
Mm.
or absolutely invest in yourself to have that privilege of having your own personal coach or mentor
Yes.
who have been there, done
Yes.
that, give you support, guidance, hold you accountable, and hold you in that safe space so that you
Mm.
progress.
Yeah.
Right?
Makes
So
total
that is the
sense.
third one.
Mm.
Fourth one is, I would highly recommend, and people hardly do that. Even I was guilty of the same once
Mm.
when I started this journey before a few years back, is to reflect on your past successes. What we do once we transition is we disregard whatever we have done or achieved previously, and we think, oh my God, this is all new, and
Mm.
I'm not yet proven myself, right? So reflect on your past successes and accomplishments, which can
Mm.
help you build confidence and remind you of your unique abilities, your
Mm.
special gifts, and how you overcame your previous challenges.
Yeah. Beautiful.
Yeah. The fifth one is practicing mindfulness and self care. So do engage in self care,
Mm.
because we leave a job, or you quit a job and get into a business and become more burnt out or more stressed out, becoming counterintuitive. Why
Mm.
you chose this? Right? It's one thing to work very hard on your dreams, and it's one thing to get burnt out so that you cannot make the progress sustainable. So self-care, exercise, yoga, whatever suits you, and mindfulness can help you reduce the stress and anxiety, and you can have that sense of calmness
Yes.
while you keep doing your works.
Yes, I like this. Let me jump real quick,
Yes.
and
Yeah,
because
please. Yeah.
you've listed five important ways we can a person can reduce the sense of feeling lost, feeling fear, and I
Yes.
like this fifth point that the audience should practice mindfulness and self care. So would I be right to say this is where, because you as a human being is the vehicle for carrying this vision forward, right? Because you quit your job, you find a business, or you find a consulting opportunity or a coaching opportunity, but you are the vehicle who
Yeah.
implements this vision. So my understanding is that you have to look after this you, right? So and be calm and be stress free as much as possible. Would that be a good understanding for our audience?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Because if that's even going to help you progress faster and
Mm.
see results clearly, look
Mm.
at your obstacles and roadblocks, which because they're going to come, right? But
Mm.
if you are in the right frame of mind, you would be a very fast solution finder if you stay mindful and if you have a self care control over yourself.
Beautiful. Go on.
Yeah, it also shifts the energy from within, which makes a lot of creative channels accessible to you. So that's
Mm,
why I realize this very late, but I want to share it with you upfront.
true. Yeah.
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 Then there are two more, which
Yes.
is sixth one, being open to the new opportunities.
Yes.
Start association of the word unknown by saying it like an exciting opportunities or untapped potential for the growth.
Mm, mm,
Then that meaning of unknown may change for you and become hidden potential for you.
okay.
And be open to new opportunities and possibilities, even if they're not that you originally thought, like, okay, I may get this opportunity, but sometimes this
Mm,
unknown can lead to unexpected and exciting experience.
true.
Very different people from different walks of life may be entering your life.
Yes.
Like, I'm so grateful for you and me collaborating this. Like, even if I wouldn't have even taken a chance, this courageous decision to
Yes.
take opportunity, get into new community,
Yes.
even this dream would not have been possible. So
Absolutely.
start associating that word unknown to an
Yes.
untapped potential for growth. That's
I
the
like
sixth
this.
one.
I like
Yes.
this.
Thank you.
Associating unknown with new exciting opportunity. Because for our brain,
Hmm.
really renaming, because there's this popular saying that the way you see something changes the meaning, right? So the
Yes.
meaning you attribute to something is dependent on the naming. So if you look at it as an unknown, which is scary, nobody likes something unknown, right? But if you
Yes.
rename it and say a new exciting opportunity, people like something new. It's one of the fundamentals of human needs, right? So beautiful. So take us to the seventh.
Yeah. So the
Yes.
seventh is the
Mm.
most favorite of you and mine,
Yes.
which is take action
Yes.
finally. Because if
Yes.
you don't take action, you don't show any faith in what you have started. So
Yes.
even small steps can help you overcome the fear of unknown, because
Yes.
action is an antidote to the fear. And
Exactly.
it is important to remind yourself that it's normal to feel scared
Yes.
and uncertain, but
Yes.
still take action even when you are feeling scared.
Yes. And Coach Shilpa, as you know, our shared mentor always says it
Yes.
is every time you feel scared, take action and take
Yes.
massive action. So as you listen to us, we would like to pass this information to you that every time you're thinking about your career transition, you know you got to transit, that this job is not going to stay with you forever. And you get this, your heart beginning to race. That
Yeah.
is sign of fear. So what do you do? Get in touch with the coach. Get listen to
Yeah.
an episode like this so that you feel in control and you can then start planning out. As Coach Shilpa mentioned, get a professional help. There's nothing
Yeah.
wrong with seeking help. In fact, one of the things as coaches, Shilpa, I know you'll agree with me, every successful man and woman in this planet has had an advisor, has had a coach, has had a support person.
Yes. Yes.
Exactly. So why shouldn't a senior engineer, why shouldn't a banker who is in her 40s, 50s, trying to transition be afraid to seek help? If
Yes.
footballers, netballers, and athletes can get coaches. So this is something that we need in within the professional area to get
Hmm.
comfortable with, seeking the help of another person in form of a coach, in form of a mentor. So
Yes.
with that clean background, you've taken us through seven important points that can help us overcome fear.
Yeah.
Now, at this point, I want first of all to thank you for these insights. They're really, really beautiful. I hope you took plenty of notes. Okay. Now, and I do really agree with you that the best, the best way to deal with fear is to plan, prepare, and take massive action, right? So
Yeah.
that action drives out thought and fear. Okay. Then how can our listener assess their current skills and prepare for a potential career change or a new
Hmm.
business opportunity now that you've dealt with the issue of fear?
Yes, yes, sure. So I'll give you a brief answer to this because the
Yes.
subject is very vast.
Mm.
So assessing your current skills and identifying potential opportunities is crucial for making a successful transition.
Yes.
I believe that a thorough self assessment is very, very essential. Rather than
Mm.
what happens in the process of career transition, we do all outward journey,
Mm.
right? What kind of another job, what kind of another career, which kind of business, should I open a restaurant, should I buy a
Mm.
franchisee, should I become a sleeping partner or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, the
Mm-hmm.
investor route.
Mm.
What it's more important is start the internal journey first, right? So look at your own interest, values, your strengths, even your weaknesses, and
Mm.
looking at what is needed in terms of new skills, talents, knowledge, habits, and knowing
Mm.
this gap,
Okay.
that's very important in the transition phase, so you can start taking those actions. I
Okay.
also suggest networking and researching different industries and possibilities and understanding that complete terrain of the new land you're entering into.
Okay.
So this will give you a better understanding of what is out there, who can help you, and how you can identify potential opportunities that align
Mm.
with your existing skills and expertise
Exactly.
and interest.
Mm. Yes.
Yeah. Additionally, going deeper on self discovery, tapping into core strengths, and understanding your own worth can give you that confidence boost and provide a valuable insight as into what you have that you can offer to the world.
Beautiful. Beautiful. I love that. Go on.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And having a plan and setting clear goals is absolutely crucial when making transition. It is important to have a roadmap,
Mm.
measurable goals in phase, and also share this or make this plan with your coach and mentor so that you
Mm.
can also work on the potential roadblocks in the advance, but also they will hold you accountable for your progress so you don't get lost in the process. Mm.
Beautiful. Excellent.
Because when in the coming few episodes we were discussing, right, we'll also
Mm.
go on a detailed path of shifting from being employed to entrepreneur. So
Yes.
that's when we'll talk about some of more steps into this. But
Yes.
without plan, it's easy to get very sidetracked, get distracted, go
Mm.
after shiny object syndrome, and
Mm.
lose money, lose focus, and
Yes.
lose your interest, right? And
Yes.
additionally, having this clear set of goals and accountability will help you stay motivated throughout the transition process
Yes.
because you will see your progress.
Yes.
So it is important to open to the unexpected opportunities and willing to adopt the plan as well. So right balance, as we always say, 80-20 of a
Mm-hmm.
plan and flexibility. Don't be
Exactly.
very rigid, have some flexibility because you never know, you may get something more beautiful than you expect.
Exactly. I like the 80-20 rule. Yeah. I like the fact that you're trying to also say, so as I'm preparing for my transition, I need to
Yeah.
be, I need to have a plan, but at the same time, I should be fluid enough. The plan should be flexible enough to
Yes,
allow
yes,
to pivot. And this is something our mentor talks about pivoting. So
yes,
we should flow like water, right? So
yes. There
as
has to be
success
a flow.
oriented people, I like
Yes,
that.
yes.
Yes.
And also, please ascertain what are your limiting beliefs at this stage
Mm,
which
mm,
held you back and which can hold you back and which are no longer necessary. Maybe they were relevant at certain stage for a certain growth, but now it's not going to helpful. So make sure that you don't come in your own way.
oh, beautiful. I like the fact that you brought the issue of limiting beliefs. And this is something very interesting. And from my own experience as a coach, as also growing from my academia into serving clients from around the world, when we talk about limiting beliefs, this is
Hmm.
sometimes people are like, what do you mean limiting beliefs? So can you put some light on this
Yeah.
on our listeners get to understand how this whole concept of limiting beliefs can hamper their progress?
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Coach Gerard, because when we talk about limiting belief and people start thinking, oh, this is some personal development, woo, and, this is not for us,
Mm,
this is only, some technical terms which are created, but it is not actually.
mhm, mhm.
Actually, we say these things to ourselves and we don't even know that this is limiting us.
Exactly.
right? So that's why I wanted to talk about 5 limiting belief sentences that our audience may be saying to themselves, which
Exactly.
they can get alarmed by when they listen to this, right? So
Yes.
first one is very common, especially for senior working professionals, is that,
Yes.
oh, I'm too old to make a career change now.
Yes. I've
This
heard this
belief is
several
simply
times.
not true. This
Yes.
is simply not true because
Yes.
age is not a barrier to making any change.
Yes.
Many people have successfully transitioned to new careers, started businesses, and created empires later in life when they had actually taken care of the important priorities about their family,
Yes.
right? And the employees always, so there are people who are looking towards you because you are the most experienced in the industry.
Yeah.
And if
Yeah.
you don't take leap of faith, why this? Then you are restricting your experience and wisdom to only maybe one organization.
That's very, very true. For instance, the founder of KFC, we know,
Yeah.
started
Yes.
his career into entrepreneurship at 65,
Yeah.
right? So you can imagine at 65, most people, when they're even 40, they're afraid to make. So those are 25 years later, he actually became a millionaire, right? Because of
Yeah.
that, he took his little recipe and was able to kind of make it national and eventually, as we speak today, is multi-global, right? So take us to the second limiting belief that
Yes.
puts
Yeah.
our audience in the wrong foot.
Yeah. And the funny thing is that I had some of them and I didn't even think those are limiting beliefs because
Yes,
they always sound so rational and they always sound so logical that we don't think this is coming in our way, right?
yes,
That's why I wanted to highlight it today. The second
yes,
one is that we say in our mind, oh, I don't have all the right qualifications, certificates, experience, and maybe I'm not good enough, ready enough. And
mm,
it's not necessarily true that you need specific qualification or experience to make this career change.
mm,
Many skills and experiences are transferable and can be applied to different fields.
yes,
Additionally, there are awesome resources, courses, people, mentors available to help you enhance your skills
yes,
and bridge that gap,
yes,
right? Then I'm taking you to the third one, which is like, oh, I will not be able to make as much money as I'm making in my job now, right? And
wow,
while it is true that some career changes may come with a pay cut, or it may not always be what you will be your last, uh, salary portion
yes,
and your starting phase of the starting income of your business, right? So many people find that intrinsic rewards of career outweigh the financial sacrifices.
mm,
Right? But however, additionally, with time and experience, you will be able to scale up more in your new field than in your previous one. And we have
very
seen
true.
that happening.
We've seen that absolutely, absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Then the fourth one, it is that people say that it is too risky to make a career change. So
Mm,
while making a career change can be risky, everything in life is sometimes risky. Even
absolutely.
stepping out on a busy road could be risky. Even sitting on an
Absolutely.
aeroplane could be risky, but
Very
we do
risky.
that.
Yes, yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
So it is important to remember that not making a change can be more risky.
yes,
So evaluate what is more risky, staying where you are or taking your leap of faith.
yes.
Staying in a job or field that doesn't align. If it is aligning with your interest, you're enjoying your job,
Mm,
absolutely be
yes.
happy, stay there, make most of it, and help your organization to grow. But especially if you are not interested, if you hate what you do, if you're
Mm,
feeling stuck, unfulfilled, don't don't keep waiting till you get the best opportunity, because you have to create opportunity, because if you stay that way, this will lead to burnout and
exactly,
dissatisfaction,
exactly.
right? And you may not be the best person available to organization because you have no intention to serve them well.
Yes,
So actually serve people whom you want to serve,
I like that.
right? And the fifth one is that this is the hiding noise in everybody's mind who's an employee. Oh,
Yes.
I'm not cut out to be an entrepreneur. Those are different type of set of people.
Mm,
And this is simply not true,
yes.
because being an entrepreneur is not only about having specific set of skills, qualities, or to be born to be an entrepreneur. Yeah, few people may have that natural flair, and
Yes.
which is good, right? But it is also about willing to take the risk, willing to evolve, willing to be persistent. So
Yes.
entrepreneurship can be learned, and many people have successfully transitioned to entrepreneurship by seeking mentorship, working on
Mhm.
themselves, and also taking all the steps needed.
Oh, beautiful. I let me jump in real quick, and I just building on the last point, the fifth limiting belief that I'm not an entrepreneur.
Yes.
This is like saying I'm not a driver. Can you see how ridiculous it sounds?
Yes, that's a beautiful
Entrepreneurship,
example.
exactly.
Yes.
It's a learned skill. It's
Hmm.
like going to college, going to university, going to school, and you go through the steps. And in fact, entrepreneurship is like a home. If you're a parent, who teaches? Which school did you go to raise your daughter or your son? Nobody, right? So these
Nobody.
are things that you learn as you go on. So because you are a manager, you are a head of department, you are like a president, whatever your post was in the formal employment sector, you're already an entrepreneur in a way because you are taking the same decision. Only this time you did not own the company. The company was either owned by the government or by the board or by the owner. But you are
Yes.
already doing many of the tasks that you would be doing in your own company. And this is why Coach Shilpa and I really are into the area of you taking control of your income
Hmm.
because one of the key things is like I'm not an entrepreneur. It's too I'm too old and all that is what we call excuse. Another
Hmm.
way of limiting belief is like excuse because
Yes.
excuse or limiting belief is actually based on fear. Okay, so
True.
all these things we say them, but under the lining is fear. Because it's
Yes.
when you say, I'm not cut to be an entrepreneur, what you're saying is, I don't want to learn how to be an entrepreneur, or I'm afraid to associate myself with entrepreneurship. So, Coach Shilpa, thank you for really highlighting these five important limiting beliefs that are holding, could be
Yes.
holding our audience.
Yeah, and I would also, that's a beautiful metaphor and lovely examples, real life metaphors you have given, Coach Gerald. That makes it very easy for people to understand
Yes.
and start changing. And what's more crucial, that you may be having different words in your mind, which are
Mm.
limiting beliefs. The
Yes.
point is not to phrase out only these five things. What are those voices in your head telling you and convincing you not to take that action what you really want to take? So listen to that and try shifting it. And there are certain also mindset shifts we want to speak about, from for which are very crucial for going from being an employee for 15, 20, 25 years to becoming an entrepreneur.
Mm.
But we'll cover that in a coming episodes, or through us or through some of our guests, because those are also very critical.
Oh, thank you. I like the fact that you're setting the stage. So, again, audience, listen. Our several episodes that are coming will be addressing some of these
Yes.
mindset shifts that actually produce this fear of unknown and then all these other fears and the limiting beliefs. So they're kind of all together. And so we will make every effort to make sure that we bring some of this to your knowledge because let's face it, even me, I did not know this. It's only when I started reading many of the books you see behind me, right? I started reading that I got myself mentors and coaches and I got coached and I then discovered that there's so much that I did not know. And I'm sure you may be very, very good with your job. You're a professor, you're a banker, you're an insurance executive, whoever you are good with your job, right? But there's certain things that you're probably not aware, and yet you
Hmm.
need to know. And so these are some of the things we'll be addressing. So as we prepare you to be future proof, as we prepare you to be ready for the next phase of your journey, because it
Yeah.
could come to you forcefully when you're least prepared, or you could begin proactively to prepare for that transition. And so we want to prepare you for both situations. And that's why we invite you to share this episode with your friends, people you know may be in mid career level who may need to begin to get information or educated about a career transition. So make sure you share this with your family and colleagues. All right. So, Coach Shilpa, you mentioned many important areas about the fear, the limiting beliefs, the different strategies. So now, can you share with us some tips or maybe advice that um, is important for those listeners who are currently in the process of making that career transition?
Sure, sure, absolutely. Thank you,
Mm,
Coach Gerald, and thank you for also highlighting what's coming on the way and what is
mm,
that we plan to offer.
mm.
My advice for those currently in the process of transition is to stay true to yourself.
Yes.
You're transitioning something about your career, your business, which is
Mm,
a part of your life. It's not the whole you,
yes.
right? So stay true to yourself, and your true self will show you the way. It is
Mm,
important to follow your passion, understand yourself, understand what you want to pursue so that you fulfill your own interest, your values, and you
mm.
play to your strengths,
Yes.
right? Additionally, creating a very strong support system is crucial, and carefully examine what you're committing to in your future. Don't commit in a hurry or
Mm,
in desperation,
yes.
right?
I
Take
like that.
measured risk and be open to what universe is bringing into your consciousness.
Mm,
Surround yourself with people who support you, who encourage you, who help you to brave up and keep positive attitude and
mhm.
positive outlook.
Yes.
And be patient with yourself. Work
Mhm.
with your mentor. Trust the process. Remember that it is not being about 100% right 100% of the time, but being on the right path with right intention and values, so that each action you take takes you closer to your success.
I love that. I love that.
And last but not
Mm.
the least, get inspired from other stories and also learn from their failures. So you don't have to repeat them to learn the lessons. So learn from others' experiences.
Wow, I really, really love that. I love the fact that you've mentioned some very important things. One, you said they should be current, right? They should
Yeah.
understand what's happening. They should be authentic. And I like the fact that you talk about being true to yourself. And if I reflect on my own experience, I'm like, I used to ask myself the question, what am I good at? What can I do? What can I solve? What problem can I solve? Right. So this is
Yeah.
being true to yourself, and so it helps you to, as you mentioned, to pursue your career and then get support system and where we met because we are all seeking support, and this is why I would encourage you later on. Join our communities, join a career transition community where Coach Shilpa created that beautiful, I'm a member of that committee, where we share different information about the transition. So things like those, so that you can really build yourself. And finally, and I like most, Coach Shilpa, what you mentioned is that you need to be patient with yourself. If I
Yes.
have to reflect on my own journey, this is like 4 5 years, right? It's not
Yes.
easy. Nobody should tell you career transition is easy. It's like
Yes.
going to its own school, right? Because they say Rome was not built in a day. So this is why we want to invite you to start this journey, because we know at some point you are going to have to
Mm,
transition. So
mm,
why not start now, so
mm.
that you take all these steps under the guidance of a mentor and a coach, so that you make fewer mistakes and you can accelerate. Actually, you can shorten your success as a professional person transitioning. Okay, so again, I would like to thank you, Coach Shilpa. And if I'm to summarize the beautiful things you have talked about,
Yes.
our audience, I can say that this episode has brought us tremendous value. It has helped us to understand key concepts that would be necessary as you transition from being an employee to an entrepreneurial CEO, right? Because we want you to have the title of CEO, Chief Executive Officer of your own company. So recollecting all of this, so Coach Shilpa has laid a very firm foundation with the different things that can be troubling. And so here are some of the takeaways that I would like to share with you as we come to the end of this. Now, one of the key things she mentioned is that you need to recognize and understand your fears. This is very
Hmm.
critical, right? So by recognizing this means you have to acknowledge your fears, you have to understand where they're coming from, and take massive action to overcome them. As we mentioned before, it is only through action that
Hmm.
fear will leave you alone. As long as you're frozen in one spot, fear will actually keep you even more frozen. So we don't want you to
Yeah.
freeze. The
Yes.
second takeaway, Coach Shilpa, beautiful elaborate, is build resilience, right? As you know, resilience is being able to bounce back. Whatever challenges life brings you, that's called life, right? Challenges will come left and right. Whatever setbacks, you need to have a strong mental and emotional resilience that will help you to weather through this phase of transition. Because there may
Yes.
be some unpredictable situations. Maybe they tell you that you need to exit the job in 1 year. Then suddenly you get a memo that it's now 3 months, right? So suddenly 1 year, 12 months becomes 3 months, then you go into hyperdrive. And this is why, again, we want you to start the journey now so that nothing catches you by surprise. And the
Yes.
third important summary really is that work with a mentor. And we cannot say this enough because I can imagine that if I got the mentor sooner, maybe my journey would have been more easier and even faster. But all the way, eventually, I discovered, and I'm sure, Coach Shilpa, you mentioned where you made a first decision alone and you did not like it, the results weren't great.
Yes.
Again, that is because of the mistake you made and the mistake I made. Because at that point, we did not have mentors. But once we got ourselves mentors, the journey has been a lot smoother.
Yes.
We are seeing progress. And so this
Yes.
is what we like audience for you to take care of. So get somebody. Coach Shilpa is there, I am there, and there are other people you know who would help you and support you, guide you, keep you accountable as you transition. We're not saying abandon your job. That's not what we're saying. But we're
Yes.
saying let's begin to talk about what happens tomorrow if you have to transition, right? So the fourth important point is take ownership of your success.
Hmm.
Nobody is you. Right now, we're 8 billion people in this world.
Mhm.
No one is like you. The success is in your DNA, is hidden in your consciousness. So we want you to reach deep and bring out this success. Recognize that you are responsible 100% and take
Hmm.
ownership because nobody will make you successful except you. And I was
Yes.
actually, Coach Silva, this brings me to a point where I was reading a book, I forgot the title, which says the worst memory is
Hmm.
when somebody, during the eulogy of somebody, when somebody is in the last, actually before eulogy, when somebody is on the last day of their life on this earth, and somebody says, how do you want to be remembered? They say the most painful memories are what you could be.
Wow. So deep.
So deep because you could be president of your company, a multi-million dollar company. Maybe you could solve one of the climate change issues in your business. Maybe you could be a serious accountant somewhere, really dealing with tax issues as a private entrepreneur, helping young people in their startups. Maybe that could be your calling, whatever it is. Just remember that day when you no longer have the energy to bring your vision to life. The possibility will be done. It will be
Yeah.
cremated. It will be buried. So let's not allow that to happen because
Happen.
in your DNA, you have the gift that your creator gave for you to share with the world. And so the fifth point, and probably this is the most important in my view, you may disagree with me, is in this journey of transition, keep a very positive attitude because the attitude of the mind
Hmm.
changes things in your DNA. The way you
Yeah.
look at something gives meaning to that, right? So always stay positive regardless of what happens to you, and always do good. Be enthusiastic about the transition, even when things are hard. And you need to constantly cultivate a positive attitude that helps you to tame your fears so that you stay focused throughout this process as you go and grab your success. And
Yes,
I know
yes.
I've really emphasized this point. And so, Coach Shilpa, I know you're itching to say something. Go on.
Yeah, so that point you brought to the consciousness of our audience is that
Yeah.
the day of biggest regret in life is it's at that point of time when you actually can do nothing. So
Mm,
start doing what you want right away. There's no point waiting. Maybe you'll progress slowly, but being on the right path is what counts. And don't live a life of regret, because regrets are very expensive and we have experienced them. You cannot simply undo it.
yeah.
And that's what also brings to my mind the discussion we were having in our meetings a few
Mm,
days back is how we can create an environment or a structure or a roadmap for somebody who's wanting to transition and start something on their own. So
mm,
when we gather more things, we will share with our audience also that how we are planning them to have a path of least resistance. So I think now that beautifully gels with what you have said.
yeah. So beautiful. So just listen to that part again, because what Coach Shilpa is saying, because we've struggled with this. These are real struggles, and because of knowing that it's not easy. You have the desire, but you are like confused, you are lost. What do I do?
Mm.
And this is where, in the coming weeks, definitely will come to you with
Yes.
clear information and on what we can actually do specifically in very clear terms, how we can help you, how we can handhold
Yes.
you bit by bit, whether you want to do it 12 months, whether you want to do it 2 years. We will have an opportunity to have one-on-one with you so that you know and you can agree on the path you're going to take. So you are
Yes.
not taken by surprise. So again, I would like to thank you, my audience. You've been so great. You've listened to us attentively. I cannot thank my co-host and the main presenter of today's episode, called Shilpa, enough,
Pleasure.
because this has been absolutely riveting. Live stories, our own, we've shared our own lives, our own fears, our own experiences, and we'd like you to learn from them. And one of the things we'd like to invite you is read the free resources we give you. Download those resources, because below this episode and below all the previous episodes, there are gifts given by our previous
Yes.
guests. They are opportunities for you to book calls with them, for you to go through their system so you can get some value, because we
Yeah.
believe on this podcast, on this show, that we are here to serve you. Okay, so the audience we bring here are to help open many opportunities for you. So, and that's why we always leave links. So connect with them, be with them, let them take you to the next level, depending on your goal. And so download this, share this resource, and if you're new to this episode, this podcast particularly, we invite you to subscribe, download it, share it, and with your family, with your friends, with people at the workplace, and especially people who are in their 30s, their 40s, and their 50s that could benefit from knowing the intricacies of career revival, career transition, starting their own
Yes.
businesses, and things like that. So this is what we measure on in this show, and our guests have experienced this, and this is what they've gone through. So make sure you share this. And also, like I said before, join our private communities, the leadership community that I lead, and the career
Yes.
transition that Coach Shilpa leads. And we are also going to create other communities in the coming months and the weeks, which we'll share with you so you can be part of our community. So we share more of ourselves with you. And so reach out to us for coaching, for consulting, for mentoring, and guest speaking needs if you have any. And don't hesitate to send us an email at leadtalkpodcast at
Podcast.
gmail.com. And so
Yes.
I know, Coach Silpa, you would like to take this away. Go for it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So also share your success stories. And
Yeah.
if you are ready to jump in on our Lead Talk podcast to share your life experiences, which can enhance our audience life, give them some beautiful insights about success, growth,
Mm,
career transition, and business success,
mm.
please do write to us, because we are more than willing to host you here, because we are always looking for ways to serve our audience and our listeners. So navigate through your leadership and your goals, and tell us what is that more you would want from us.
Yes.
Also, we are working on a very solid plan for you, and we'll let it be known to you very soon.
Mm.
So till then, make this 2023 your best year ever, and
Yes.
see you in the next episode. Till then, stop struggling, start winning,
Okay.
and stop following, start leading.
Thank
And
you.
see you in the next episode of Lead Talk podcast. By then,
Thank
take
you.
care.
Thank you. Bye for now. Thank you.